Welcome to the Drive-In Movie Podcast.
Now playing the first 100 episodes of One Piece.
Hi, this is the podcast where normally Berkan and I go watch a brand new movie in theaters, and then we run to the car to make a podcast about it.
Yeah, but now we're in Las Vegas at CinemaCon.
Right, in a hotel room, and
with Danbotooie and Emmett. Emmett, what's your username?
isuperebba.
isuperebba!
oh, with two guests.
Bang.
Thank you guys for joining us on the Drive-In Movie Podcast. This isn't our normal setting, as you can probably tell.
We're not in a car, we're in beds.
Yeah.
The Hotel Bed Podcast.
Welcome to the Hotel Bed Podcast.
Spin-off. And we brought these two guests along because, first of all, Dan has a little bit of history with us.
This is technically my second appearance on the podcast.
This is
technically the second.
Dan's mentioned every other episode.
We probably mention you more than any other person.
I'm the forefather of the One Piece content.
You could think of it that way.
Yeah.
I did famously say on the record that One Piece was too long. And
then
now
we
you're watching
watched
it.
one
Now
episode for every follower.
And now you're
I'm
100
watching.
episodes in.
Right. And so you guys obviously don't know where Berkan and I are at in the story. Like, you know the number, but we should probably tell you, like, what's going on.
Should we establish why people should care that they're on a One Piece podcast with us? I mean, we got Dan, but Emmett, do you want to talk about your One Piece fandom?
I would love nothing more. I love One Piece. I started watching it maybe 3 years ago, and I finished it all in 1 year. I watched the entire anime, read the whole manga. I got absolutely obsessed.
In 1 year?
In 1 year.
Did you do it all in, like, did you watch the full episodes at normal speed?
Yes, normal speed.
So you didn't
every episode, filler, insane.
No one pace, no, like, 1.5x.
So you agree with the general consensus that Michael and I are way too slow?
No, everyone goes
I don't
at
think
their
I
own
could.
pace.
Yeah, if I started One Piece now, I don't think I could do it as fast as I did.
I had a lot of free time.
How fast did you catch up, Dan?
Well, when I watched it in 2012 at 12 years old, I caught up to the anime, and at the time the anime only had 600 episodes. So.
Only 600.
Listen, if I told my parents
1200.
at 12 years old, if I told my parents that I watched 600 episodes of a TV show, they would have smacked me.
Right.
It might have been it was like 500 or something, but it was that Fishman.
Hey Dan, how you said this on another podcast, but I don't think Michael heard the story. I really love the story. You want to talk about how proud you were to watch anime as a kid?
Oh, you watched it?
What is this? What is this?
So, you don't know. Okay, so when I first watched anime, I was like 10 or 12 years old. I watched Naruto, Death Note, One Piece, Dragon Ball. Watch all the big, shonen ones. They're all kid friendly, right? I was really, really embarrassed by it. I was really embarrassed by watching anime, not to my friends, but to my family. Why? I don't know. I was just really embarrassed by it. So, but at the same time, I would watch anime by borrowing my dad's like iPad, right? So I would be like, "Hey, Dad, can I borrow your iPad?" He's like, "For what?" I'm like, "I just want to use your iPad," because I didn't want to tell him why. I would watch anime. So I would take his iPad. I would go to my room and I would sit in here and watch my iPad. Every time my parents would walk into my room, I'd go like this.
Oh God!
I'd go, and they'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing. I'm not doing anything." And they're like, "Okay," and they kept doing it. I didn't, but mind you, I did not watch P at the time. I didn't. Honestly, I didn't watch it. I didn't know what it was. I was a pretty innocent kid. I didn't. No. I was just watching anime and I was really embarrassed by it. It got to the point my dad made me watch it in the living room. He said, "Hey, if you're going to borrow my iPad, you have to watch it in the living room from now on." Yeah. Because I think they thought I was some crazy addict in my room all day watching it.
That's 100% what they thought.
Yeah. I know that's what they. In retrospect, that's exactly what it was. And the funny thing is,
and then he looked at the watch history and went, "Oh, it's even worse. It's anime."
Well, and the funny thing is that so. I would have to watch it in the living room now because they thought I was watching crazy stuff. Right. So, but I'd go to the corner of the living room on the table. I would put my up there. I'd watch anime, and then every time someone would walk by, I'd go like this. So they still think I would watch. They still thought I was watching it in the living room. And I never told them.
He has such a problem, even when we are like actively watching him.
Guys,
he can't not be.
He has a kink. He needs an audience.
That's insane, dude. And you were like, what, 12?
I was like 12, yeah. I was
600
like
episodes. You did that 600 times.
Oh, my God. What's funny is I kind of have a similar story because when I was probably younger than that, when I was probably like 7 years old, I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is, of course, an anime, But I was embarrassed by it.
It was embarrassing, yeah.
It's embarrassing. I mean, like, even to my family, you know? Yeah. And so it's like, I would like rewatch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels on YouTube. But we didn't have an iPad or anything. We had the family computer. So it would like go onto YouTube, rewatch the duels, but then someone would walk into the room, and I'd literally like stand up from the chair and like try covering the screen with my hands. I'd be like, "Get out of here! Go!" And they're like, "What are you doing?"
It's a thing, dude.
And again, I was like even younger. I was like 7, and it took a long time to get over that. You know what I mean?
I have PTSD from Yu-Gi-Oh because my grandpa bought me a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and all the cool ones, and I thought, oh my god, I'm the luckiest kid in the world, and they were all fake. And I went to school bragging.
There were so many fakes back.
So
in the day.
many. I had fake Game Boy games. I still don't understand how that works.
Did they work?
Yeah.
What are
Then
they?
how are they fake?
Because it's just a
They're
code.
bootlegs.
You just can make the brick right.
It's like emulators, I guess.
It's an emulator. It's a mini emulator.
Sounds real to me. I mean, if you could
It
play
was
the
real
game.
to me. It was real to me.
Yeah.
I would like to now formally apologize for my voice. I had steroids in my throat, so that's the only reason why I'm speaking. So bear with me today.
Right.
No Screaming Berkan.
We're lucky you're here with us. you
Yeah.
know?
Bang bang. Okay. First 100 episodes.
Right.
We are 10 episodes into Alabasta.
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 The
Yeah.
Alabasta is. I'll tell you this. Alabasta is the first, like, true arc of One Piece. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Every
Okay.
time he says, "I'll tell you this," I think he's gonna drop a major spoiler.
I'll tell you this.
You're
It's like
not.
it's the first
You're
because
good.
so far. I would say so far you've been in the prologue beginning. No, the word prologue for the
Yeah.
beginning of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been in the prologue for a story, which is like this is what kind of like what One Piece is. But Alabasta is the first arc. It was like this is a traditional, actual, true One Piece arc where like it's a long island. It's like it has a lot of culture to the world, to the island. There's a big villain. Like there's multiple enemies. Like this is the first like true One Piece arc.
Okay.
Are we
good.
out of the prologue then?
Yes, you're finally out of the
Thank
prologue.
God.
Even the first
Thank
couple episodes of
God.
the Grand Line was prologue.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
because
finally.
I mean, we met Chopper at like 10 episodes, 20 episodes
Yeah.
ago. You know, and now he's joined the crew. And in my mind, I thought we were out of the prologue at least when we got to the Grand Line.
I
but
mean,
then
you were.
I
It-
would consider it out of the prologue.
That's the
right
former.
now.
That's the
Okay.
former. It's that's the prologue. It's more just Alabasta. The first like there's none of the arcs you've seen so far are like Alabasta.
It feels
Okay.
like it's really when it was like, all right, this is what One Piece is.
This is
gonna be.
exactly that's the best way to put it. And then every arc, most arcs after Alabasta are going to be like Alabasta.
I like Alabasta so far because I know it's long.
Yeah.
I know they're setting up like it kind of feels like maybe a One Piece mini movie. I know it's
Yes.
significantly longer.
Yes.
But it's like it's setting up its own like story. Like it's its own like
It has its
feel.
own cultural, like there's an Alabasta culture. There's like
Yeah.
many Alabasta specific characters. Like there's
Yeah.
Alabasta, like the Straw Hats have skins. They have skins, right?
Oh,
They
yeah,
don't have
they get
skins.
new outfits.
They get new outfits. There's no other island after Alabasta. You'll notice like okay, the next big arcs are all like these kind of like levels. While before the biggest island was probably Drum Island.
Yeah.
Was
But,
this the
yeah.
first time?
Storm
that-
Island was the first time that we went to an island and it was a country, not just one village.
Yes,
That's something that
that's exactly
confused
yeah.
me. I was like, wait, what do you mean it's a
You're-
country? There's like it's only like this one village, and then they went to a different village to find somebody else.
Yep.
And I went, okay, here we go. So
You're
it actually
beyond
is-
villages. You're in like
Yeah.
country level. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, wait. Is Alabasta the first time they actually sexualize their characters? Because there was a solid like 3-second freeze frame on Vivi and Nami's tits.
I
It
know
gets
exactly
way
what you're
worse.
talking
I
And
will
I was
say,
like, what?
I
Did
will
pause
say,
it?
You
it's
can't,
like
you can't.
That was my hide the iPad
it gets
moment.
way
I was so
worse.
scared of Allison walking in.
Bro, I was like, I literally said to my computer, I was like, come on, you can't see their belly button and you can't see their chin.
It's literally just
it's
their chest.
censored.
It
on-
gets
yeah.
way worse. It gets way worse.
So okay, so this is the beginning of them being like.
I don't
we
even
can
think it's
actually-
the true beginning. It's like nothing compared to what's coming in terms of.
I feel like
nothing compared to
It
what's
kind of makes me feel like One Piece at the time was made for kids.
Oh,
in
yeah.
puberty.
Yeah.
Like that was the target,
and
audience.
that's why you were hiding your
because
iPad.
it was a childish, silly cartoon with curse words, and then it started getting a little bit edgier, and now there's boobs.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
hitting the puberty demographic.
Okay. Can I ask y'all a question? Do y'all watch it dubbed or subbed?
I've done both. I
Okay.
primarily did it dubbed, but then eventually I caught up, so I had to watch like the last couple hundred.
So you watched
Subbed.
when did you catch up?
Wanna?
Yeah, it was towards the end of Wano.
Okay.
Well,
Is
1200.
I don't know what a
number?
Wano is.
I know, sorry, like 1200.
1100. But
Okay.
yeah.
It was like 2-3 summers ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
3.
That's 1100.
So you watched like well over 1,000 episodes dubbed.
Yeah. At that point, actually, there was more of a pause between them, so it's probably like 950 dubbed, and then like 150 subbed.
I like the One Piece dubbed.
Me too.
I like the One Piece. I
I
watched
think
the
they
dub
have good
originally.
voice. I don't like. Everyone's always like, "Oh, the dub isn't as good as the sub," and like that may be true, but I don't know.
No, the One Piece dub is great compared to other like like My Hero Academia dub, terrible, awful.
No,
the
not
One
true.
Piece dub is. I think it's terrible.
My Hero dub is great.
It's awful.
Here's the thing: people always complain about the dub and sub thing. It's just because you don't understand what they're saying. It just sounds less cringe. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They're saying the same things. It just sounds cooler.
But I never
Yeah.
minded One Piece dub. I never minded like obviously Dragon Ball dub is phenomenal. Naruto dub I thought was
Dude,
fine.
the My Hero dub is incredible, especially the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I don't know.
Incredible.
All right. Well, we have a famous thing on this podcast where we rate things out of Michaels. First 100 episodes of One Piece. Michael, how many Michaels are you giving it?
I'm scared, actually.
It's okay. You
I'm
can be
actually
honest.
scared. I think out of 10 Michaels, I'm giving it like 6.5
Okay.
because there are like really good moments separated by long bouts of slow, boring like
Watch One Piece.
build up.
Watch One Piece.
I can't. I told
No,
I
that's-
told the audience that I would watch
But is
one
it-
full episode for every follower that we got.
But again, but now reflect on that. Is that a reflection on the story, or is that a reflection on just anime studios at the time? Anime today in modern anime don't have filler or slow pacing because the industry has changed.
It is that, but you also can't like separate the two.
I think you
Like
can.
you're watching the show, the episode.
I don't
They
think you can.
released those
Listen,
episodes.
I'm a massive One Piece fan. Once I switch to the manga, I can't switch back to the anime because now, especially I've read the manga, I'm like, it's so slow, it's so bad
Yeah,
pacing. But the story is phenomenal.
But you can't be like, oh, the story of the 100 episodes. Imagine it was different. Like it is.
No,
what
but
it
I'm saying,
is.
but it's the anime's fault, not the like manga.
But we're rating the anime.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that-
you're right.
this
You're
is-
right. You're right.
We're not going up
Also,
to. Yeah.
we're not rating the
I
one
agree.
pace cut. We're rating the first 100 episodes
Yeah,
of the
yeah, you're
One
fair.
Piece
Okay.
anime.
So to Michael's credit, I'm giving the first 100 episodes of One Piece 7 Michaels.
Okay, we're
A
close.
little bit nicer.
We're close.
I thought you would. Wow, I'm surprised that you liked it more than Michael.
Just a little bit. Like I kind of like agree with the 6.5. Do you know why I bumped it up? I originally did not like the first arc, but now I'm feeling a little bit nostalgia for the first arc, and I feel like that's a good sign.
I also think that Berkan hasn't seen a lot of anime.
Yeah.
I'm comparing One Piece now to like newer animes that I think get off the ground quicker.
Exact, but that's my point though. And again, I'm a massive One Piece fan. If One Piece came out today, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
Yeah,
it is
because
exactly.
now.
yes, but the One
Wit-
Piece.
No, the
and
Wit one. Yeah.
and
right, and that's
unfortunately-
called the
yeah.
One Piece. And the point of even One Piece knows that. But think about it. One Piece came out at a time where all anime was slow. Dragon Ball was slow. Naruto was slow. Bleach was horrendously slow, worse than One Piece.
Yeah.
That's just how anime was at the time, and everybody was used to it. Now anime is all modern. It's all like 24 episode seasons that cover 3 chapters per episode. Like it's just the industry has changed, and now our brains have been geared. Like it's harder to go as someone like you to go from I watch modern anime to go back to older anime like One Piece.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I was like, unfortunately, I'm watching it today.
Yeah,
I'm not
that is-
watching it.
That's why they're remaking
I'm not
it.
what I wasn't watching it in 2001.
That's why they're remaking it.
Well, okay,
Right.
objectively, I'm gonna go with Emmett because I feel like I know what Dan's gonna say. Emmett, how many Michaels would you objectively give the first 100 episodes of One
And
Piece?
let's actually tell you the exact moment that we are at right now.
Please.
So in Alabasta, we are walking through the desert to Yuba to meet Koza, who is the leader of the rebellion, who we have now seen the backstory of, that he and Vivi knew each other as children.
Yeah.
And that Koza and Vivi like originally fought, and then they kind of grew to respect each other, and then Koza even like stood up and defended Vivi. Does this ring a bell?
Yes, I know exactly.
By the
what
way-
you're talking about.
So that's the
Oh, I'll
last
say
episode that we saw. The last episode that we saw was the flashback. We saw Vivi and Koza's backstory, and we're going through the desert.
I
Okay.
have a major compliment for Koza and VV, but I'll wait for y'all's Michaels first.
Okay, I'm gonna try and be really objective here, which is tough because seen the anime, read the manga, watched the live action, like all of that is swirling around.
When
But
you know what this is setting up, I'm sure you're like
that's
you
like
want to rate it higher.
strictly just 100 episodes of the anime.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be realistic and say 8.5.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
I
man.
think-
Uh-oh.
Hell yeah.
I'm scared. Emmett was our saving grace.
Okay.
And that's like
And-
I could be bumping it up just because I love this stuff, but like that's me trying.
when you were
You're
watching
not even
it
at the peak yet.
when you were watching it, of course not. That's why I'm like, I think it's not
You're a
as
long way
good
from
as
the
it's
peak.
going to
It's
get.
237, episode 237. You know.
Do you think we're gonna get obliterated for saying 6.5, 7?
No,
I
I think
think-
I think a lot of people get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay.
Up until Alabasta, if you said it during that arc, episode 237, was Liv.
Yeah,
that's good. That would be controversial.
and like
if you said
even
it
if it was the last, like if it was episode 70 to 100, I think that's different. But like it's a slow start.
Here's my because let me remind you of a couple things. I think the whole arc we're in Usopp's village.
Yes,
Pretty slow with Captain.
Worst arc in the
Worst
arc. Worst
Oh
arc
my
in the
God.
series.
There it is.
I can see it. I can see it's the
Worst-
worst arc in the series.
The most
Syrup Village is
aggravating
bad.
villain in the series. So
Syrup
far.
Village is bad.
They're on
Okay,
that hill
Syrup-
for 300 episodes.
Yeah, Syrup
But-
Village is awful.
But then we go to Barati, I think it's called, and I like
Phenomenal,
Barati.
phenomenal.
I like the
Ferrati
arc-
is one of the best arcs.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we meet Mihawk.
Mhm.
We see the fight with like Don Craig and his whole army.
Mhm.
It's
There's
awesome.
only one
We
fight
meet
in there I don't
Zeph. I mean, I love that arc. Then we go to Arlong Park. I think
The momentum
I
is
think
so
it's pretty
good.
good. I think there were really good moments in there, but I also think it's kind of slow. There were a lot of moments in there where
No, it's
episodes
fair.
were like, I'm like, okay, pick it up. We could have cut this episode to 5 minutes.
I'd give all along, by the way, 9.5.
Yeah,
Michaels.
that's
Just so we're
probably-
clear.
You're like Arlong Park times 10 of what's coming.
Okay.
Arlong Park.
Expect
Dear
that.
Lord.
And
That's
then-
what. Yeah.
Yeah, and then where do we go? I really like Logtown.
I liked Logtown,
Yeah,
but
I
not.
liked how
I
he
felt
built
like
all the lore.
Logtown was a natural dip, and then everything just kind of kept
But
decreasing.
I liked how much like we learned during Logtown.
A lot of
You know what I
world
mean?
building.
A lot of
Yeah.
world building.
But I
yeah.
hated the Lost Island arc. And Dan, I've even talked to you about this off
Oh,
camera.
that's filler. That's
And
filler.
you forget about it. But it's in the first 100
But
episodes.
it's filler.
I'm
You
watching,
can't come. Okay, you cannot.
I'm watching
You
every
cannot
episode of the
critique
anime.
filler.
You can.
But dude,
It's
Do
How
you
did
watch
you-
Naruto? Are you critiquing
Dan,
Naruto for the filler?
But
Yes.
listen, Dan. But
No, you're
Dan,
not. You shouldn't.
Dan, hold on a second. Listen, because the problem with the One Piece filler is that they put in canon stuff into the filler.
But it wasn't bad in the-
Hold
it
on,
was-
Dan. Hold on, Dan. The last episode of the Lost Island arc, the first 10 minutes is the conclusion of that arc, and the last 10 minutes is where they enter the Grand Line. And as they're entering the Grand Line, Eric, the villain of that arc, is there. So that arc has canon moments for the anime.
It gets
watch
worse.
the canon without knowing Lost Island stuff, and that's also the introduction of the whole Calm Belt lore, which they mention a lot in canon episodes. That's my point.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
do
ignore
think
it.
One Piece is a bad anime adaptation or mid anime
Whoa,
adaptation.
Okay,
It
whoa.
gets- I wouldn't say. Okay, I actually wouldn't say it's bad in the first 100 episodes. I do think episode 600 and 900, it is a bad
God.
anime.
Yeah,
I can say.
that's-
okay.
I wouldn't say it's bad now, but there's a gap, and I told you about this gap yesterday.
Yeah.
There is a gap around 600, 900 where I legitimately can say it's a bad anime
It's rough.
adaptation because. And I told this to Michael, but during that time, during episode 600, 900, you'll notice it. The quality dips. It's so slow. It's like half a chapter per episode. And that's because Dragon Ball Super came out at the time. And the animation studio of One Piece also worked at Dragon Ball Super. And they wanted to focus on Dragon Ball instead of One Piece. That's what happens. And you'll notice it in the quality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is someone knocking at the door?
Oh, we finally have an authentic
Do we
moment.
have a noise
Quick.
complaint?
Bring him here
This is
and
not
ask
scripted.
Hold on.
who is
What's
who's
going on
going to
here?
be.
Our producer's checking. Oh.
We're
They're
getting clean
asking for
towels.
You want to hop in the pod?
Hey, have you seen One Piece?
All right.
Has she seen One Piece?
She specifically said, "Are y'all talking about one?"
She said, "I love it."
All right, can
Just really quick, while we were
Yes.
talking about filler, I just want to say I actually like a lot of the filler. In One Piece.
Okay.
I didn't know the difference between like filler and not filler when I watched it. And I
There's
enjoyed
one
it all.
filler arc you should
Yeah,
watch.
there's one
Okay.
You know what I'm
filler
talking
arc
about?
that-
There's one filler arc people praise for, and it's one of the best stories in all One
I got
Piece.
good news
three
for
or
you.
four
We're
that I
watching
did.
them all. So
Good.
Okay.
That's the way to do
There's
it.
a really good one coming.
Okay.
I will say also my whole beef with the Lost Island arc is that most of it like doesn't make any difference.
Dude.
Like even within the arc, because they leave the island just to come right back.
Yeah, it's filler.
I just
They
like
can't change. They can't have any lasting effects. It's filler.
it's just.
But even
fun.
but even within the arc, most of what they did, if they just stayed on that island and let the dragon die on that island, they would have accomplished the dragon's dream anyway. He was already where he was supposed to be.
was it a Dragonite? Isn't it called
Doesn't-
Dragonite?
Their bones are like dragonite.
Yeah.
But then but then also we go from there to no, we left Logtown to go to there. We entered the Grand Line. Loved that. Loved Zoro's whole fight versus 100 Grogtown mercenaries.
God.
But then we go to Little Garden, and it feel the whole fight in Little Garden is like okay, everyone's frozen, and
Little
Luffy's
Garden-
getting
Little Garden
like
was tough.
Luffy's getting detained by like paint and like having a tea party, and Sanji's nowhere to be seen in this fight.
I
Am I-
really like, but little. That's like the first time where it's like, oh, we're not like as strong as we think.
I did like the
It's
Giants
like,
as characters.
This guy has a
but-
power that just completely undoes what Luffy can do, and like Zoro's stuck in wax. Like
Oh.
I like the introduction of
But
that.
the
where
the
it's like-
fight is literally watching like paint dry. It's watching wax melt and then
Yeah,
drop.
but
It's like,
Zoro's in a funny pose, so that
Hey,
makes it okay.
I have a potential One Piece hot take, and I don't know if it's a hot take. The only numbered agent I like so far is Mr. 3.
Oh,
Not
really?
too hot of a
You're
take.
gonna meet all. You haven't met all.
But like,
the main
okay,
ones.
just so I'm not
haven't met
like,
the
I'm
main
not
ones
like tripping. Mr.
You didn't like
the
Mr.
one who can
5?
That's not a
cameo.
hot take. Yeah,
Who
that's
could doppelganger, right?
Yeah, that's not a hot take.
He's the only one I like because I
wait,
think
Mr. 2.
Mr. 2. Sorry,
You're-
Mr. 2.
you're
I was like,
gonna
I
love
thought
Mr.
Mr. 3 was
Wait.
really annoying.
No, Mr.
You're-
Sorry. My One Piece hot take. Mr. 2 is my favorite. The rest suck.
So you don't like Mr. 3?
No.
I didn't like Mr. 3. I like
Mr.
Mr.
2.
5. Mr. 5 was.
I'm not gonna
Mr. 5 was
spoil.
slick.
I'm not gonna spoil Berkan. If this was stocks, invest in Mr. 2.
Mr. 2.
Invest your stocks in
Here's
Mr.
my thing
2.
with Mr. 2. Okay, one,
You
I
know
like
what
the
I'm talking
doppelganger.
about.
The
the
doppelganger
best.
is always a good skill, right?
Invest
But
in Mr.
the
2.
fact that he's a ballet in sports, the best athletes do ballet. It helps them. It makes them harder to defend, guard, or go up against. I think him being a ballet character is actually kind of genius.
Interesting.
Is the best.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
will say, I think Chopper has the best backstory of
Oh, for
the
sure.
Straw Hats.
not a
I
hot
love
take.
Chopper.
Very common take.
Chopper's the best.
He's-
He's the best
and
guy
every
around.
scene he's in,
Everybody
he's just
agrees
so
with
cute.
that. Everybody agrees
Can I
with
say?
that. Yeah.
Can I say this too? I want to make a comparison to see if this holds up. I haven't talked to any of you guys about this yet. I think Chopper joining the crew is reminiscent of Toph joining the gang in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where it almost feels like he's been there the whole time.
I
He's such a
agree.
natural addition to the crew.
Yeah,
I
that's
totally
fair.
agree.
I want to give my compliment for Alabasta.
Okay,
First of all, Michael, what is your favorite Disney movie?
Aladdin.
Okay, I think Alabasta is a better version of Aladdin.
Oh.
Wow.
Kozo and Vivi, such a cooler version of Aladdin and Jasmine.
Yeah.
Such a better
if
version.
it ends up romantic,
if it ends up romantic, and I think it will be romantic.
This is
I'm not
a
making any
little
faces.
spoiler.
little spoiler.
There is a sex scene. No, I'm kidding.
Romance.
And this is why Dan was hiding the iPad.
Another 3-second boob shot.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Do you-
Okay, but Dan, what would you rate the first 100 episodes out of 10?
Trying to be unbiasedly, I think when I first watched it, because I wasn't hooked yet. When I first watched the first 100, I was like, "This is a good show." I'm not.
Arlong Park? No.
No, it was good. I thought it was a good show. I think at the time, I still preferred Naruto. It wasn't until episode 237. That arc-
237?
Yes.
At this point, I still prefer Naruto too.
Yeah, and I think that's
But-
fair.
and-
I think there's an arc later on that will capture you, and that's when it'll become.
And to Emmett's point, dude, I thought I was hooked like during the Straw Hat walk during Arlong Park,
Yes.
but then there were like boring moments, long stretches of boring moments later where I was like, am I unhooked? However, I think I just got rehooked.
You will get rehooked.
I think episode 95 rehooked me
episode 237.
with Ace
I love
and
Ace.
Captain Smoker.
I love Ace. I was so happy that
I love
Smoker's
Ace.
back. I was like, thank God.
Me too. Okay, wait.
I was so happy about
I was gonna
Smoker.
bring this up later, but I think we should just do it now. Can we do our like top like 3 favorite characters
Oh,
in,
man.
in the show right now?
Easy. Okay. Can I go
Okay,
first?
Okay.
Wait, maybe we should start with the guests.
Boo.
In only the first 100 episodes,
Okay.
and right,
Yes, only
And-
the first 100 episodes.
and only how they are. In
Are
the
we doing
first
straw
100
hats or
Correct.
non-straw hats?
Everyone.
All characters.
Oh man, you.
Wait,
I need
are
to
we
think.
are we fancy drafting later?
Well, we can.
I want to
but
do the
these are
fantasy
just-
draft. I think the fantasy
We'll
draft
do
was so
fantasy draft,
fun.
but these are just
Should we
favorite
do-
characters.
Okay, no, wait, time out. I think this would be better if we did this after the fantasy draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
I
guys
agree
want to
with
do?
So
Okay.
that's coming up. That's coming up.
We'll do. You want to do the fantasy draft now then, so we can go into the.
Well, I wanted to see. Yeah, let's do the fantasy draft now. Okay, so we're gonna fantasy draft One Piece characters. Me and Michael versus Emmett and Dan.
Yep.
All right, we get first pick.
No, I think you guys should pick how many.
I think
people?
you guys should play rock paper scissors over this.
No, I think you guys. How many people do you got on your team?
5.
I think you should choose all your 5 from the first 100, and we can choose after you. Because trust me, I think that's more.
Oh. Well,
I
we gotta
think-
take-
No.
No, trust me.
I think we need the. I think we need. We know so little, Berkan. We know like less than 10.
You want. That's like we'll give you the advantage of choosing the first 5,
Okay.
and then we'll do the second 5. I
well,
still
this
think we
sucks
win.
because Michael has so many warlord theories.
Yeah, go for it. Go choose your first
Just
5.
based on
Okay,
what we
okay.
know.
Luffy.
We got to take Luffy. We got to take Ace. Surely.
Yeah, that's
Ace
an
is good.
interesting
Ace is a good choice.
combo. Do we take
Not
Chopper
an
for
Alabasta.
heals?
That's a good question. Oh, I don't think we know a lot about Chopper yet. Is the problem? So I think we're gambling with him.
It's a gamble.
Do we know? Do we go off what we know, or do we gamble? Because I would also say that Zora. Oh wait, Mihawk.
Yeah, we take
Sure,
Mihawk.
we take Mihawk. So
Okay,
we know 3.
wait.
We know
Okay,
3.
you can't beat Mihawk and Zoro.
Well,
If you
no,
think about that combo, you get the Luffy brothers,
yes,
Mihawk and Zoro, and then
Right.
Chopper.
for healing all of them.
Yeah,
That's our 5.
is that our 5?
I think that's our 5. Did
That's
you guys
our
hear
5.
that?
That's our
Oh,
5.
they're still strategizing.
I think
so to
are we
recap,
basic?
we are
Gotta be
going
alive.
Luffy, Ace, Chopper, Mihawk, Zoro.
Can I predict their 5?
Also,
Yeah, wait,
I'm assuming this is Luffy via the Alabasta.
Sure, yeah.
Wait, no, wait. If you guys are doing investments,
Well, no,
then
but
we have to.
I was saying I'm choosing characters as they are right now. In the story.
But we picked Chopper because we were like, okay, we think Chopper is a gamble.
Emmett had a
I
question.
have 2 questions. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they have to be alive?
Yes.
So we could just yes. I agree. They should be alive.
And
Are you gonna pick Goldie Rogers?
Yes.
Or something?
Yeah, that's cheating. That's cheating.
we're investing in them? Or
No,
it's just
as they
something
are
that-
strong right now, which I still think we
But
can
then they
win.
win.
No,
We win.
no, we don't. Can,
No, it is
so wait, who do you have?
It is investing.
We have
It
Luffy.
It is not investing because we would
picked
still
for
win.
that. We picked for that.
We have Luffy, Ace, Zoro, Mihawk, Chopper.
Sorry.
Hey, what do you mean we lose?
Okay. No, let me go ahead. Okay. I have already
Do you see
drafted.
none of them good? What did you say?
Shanks.
Okay.
That's good too.
Man, is Shanks actually a warlord?
I might have.
I'm gonna
right about
invest
Oh my
into.
gosh.
I'm gonna invest, or I'm gonna choose
You're cold.
the Navy training guy who's training Kobe and Helmeppo.
Oh, Gulp, right?
Garp.
Garp.
We're taking Garp, and then I have another one if you, but you go ahead.
That's interesting.
Then
Shanks,
having
Garp?
to be alive.
I think we win with just Gem. I think we win this as they are right now. I think
For
we
real.
win. I dead ass. Maybe Mihawk. Your Mihawk does
Mihawk and Zoro together?
not. Zoro at the time is not doing anything against Shanks.
What about Ace? What do you mean he's not doing anything?
I don't want to. Yeah, I know. But
Wait,
at
okay.
the time,
At the
I
time,
would think I know 2 more people.
at
who
the
could-
time, all we've seen is Shanks get his arms
Trust
ripped
me,
off
at the
and
time-
drink.
At the time,
Yeah.
Shanks is stronger than
But he doesn't have the straw hat, so he doesn't have the One Piece.
Shanks can.
Let them.
They
do
didn't deny
wait.
it.
Let them do their
The
thing.
only person that Shanks couldn't one shot in your current draft is Mihawk.
But we haven't seen it.
Yeah, okay. Is
Your
it,
whole argument
okay,
is
well,
how
no,
it is
wait,
now.
wait,
existing
There's
characters.
a difference. Is it as they are or what we've seen?
Yeah, because obviously the fun is that we know how strong these characters
Make
are. You don't. That's why.
Okay, we are not going to be able to decide who wins. I think they're going
Obviously,
to have to
we'll-
decide who wins. So
Yes.
it's like you pick them.
But
as
trust me,
they
they're going
are,
to choose.
and
They're going
we
to
are
choose
only going to be
Shanks.
able to know what
They
we
are
know.
going to choose Shanks.
Shanks can't be a warlord. I'm dropping a One Piece theories based on the Shanks cannot be a
I mean,
warlord. He has to be
why
something
not?
because he has to be
Obviously,
something
warlord.
better.
What's
Amazing
better than
warlord.
we don't know anything
Okay,
better than
think
a
about
warlord.
it. Think about it. We were like, oh, Mihawk is clearly better, and they're like, no, Shanks, bro, Shanks.
But that's
From what we've seen,
But we haven't seen any. They're telling us something that we haven't seen yet because they've seen the whole show. Berkan.
we're all having conversations at the same time.
Go for it. Say it.
We're gonna take Dory and Bragi.
Oh,
Yep. Trust me.
the
People, I'm not going to
Giants.
spoil, but people who are watching are going to know why,
The
and
Gi-
they will be like, "Yeah, you guys."
Okay, the
I
Giants
think those
do
4
little bit.
already beat you.
Do
Trust
you
me.
even, do
I
you
think
want
Garp.
a fifth?
I don't even think. I think we could end. I dead ass think we could end with Garp and Shanks, and we win. I'm not kidding. I'm not going to spoil, but I think we could win with just them.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I'm not going to spoil why, but
Okay.
I think we could.
You guys are missing my theory. My theory now. So Michael's theory is that Shanks is a warlord. My theory is that he's something better than a warlord.
Interesting.
Okay. I'm not going to say it, but
Because like
I'll say this: one
Oh,
of y'all.
don't,
one of y'all
I
are.
know what you're gonna say.
we
just
literally
say
don't
it.
know anything.
We don't know
We
anything.
don't know
One of y'all are
anything
into it.
better than a
I know,
warlord,
but
though.
don't say it. It's like
are you guys trying to spoil?
We
No,
won't
I'm
say
trying
anything.
to
No,
stop it.
yeah,
I'm trying
I
to
won't say
stop
anything. I won't say.
Hey,
And then our
hey,
fifth
Dan.
guy, we
Hey
have one
Dan,
more.
rock paper scissors. If
This again.
you win, you get to spoil one thing for us.
If your podcast,
If
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
if we win,
Berkan, this is our bread and butter,
If
bro.
we
What are you
win-
doing?
if we win, Dan has to.
Berkan,
Dan,
I've
if
told
we
you
win,
no. I don't want to do this.
if we
dude.
win, if we
still
win,
one more choice.
hold up,
Oh,
hold up.
yeah, let's
Hey,
totally take it.
if we
Berkan,
win,
Pizza Hut, I don't want to do this.
oh, dang it. Fine, never mind.
All right.
Wait, we still have one more choice.
You
Yes.
guys get one more choice. You didn't even hear what I wanted to
Yeah,
say.
I think they from the manga or from the live action. They know it. Let me think. I think we're missing another guy. I think
You guys have 2 giants.
Shanks.
actually, I'm gonna say that
You
for
guys
my
have
question. I'm
the
gonna say that
inspiration
right
for Luffy, and you guys have a Navy admiral. Is he an admiral? Is he a vice admiral?
Who?
Garp.
He's a vice admiral.
He's not even. Is there an admiral?
Do you want me to spoil?
No, but
I know.
I'm not going to answer that then.
Okay, here's my thing. You know what? I did stop watching the live action One Piece because of something
they
was
they
spoiled.
It's
the live
for-
action spoils Garp.
it's
Yeah,
for
they
people
spoil
that
Garp.
have like seen
Yeah.
it. I feel
Yeah.
like.
okay,
So I can't comment on that.
interesting.
I mean, Dragon's way better than Mr. Zero, though. True, but
You
let's
guys,
go Dragon. I think.
you guys are gonna. If you guys have
We'll
already
go with
won-
Dragon. We'll fist right Dragon.
I knew it, dude. I had theories that Shanks and Dragon were warlords of the sea, and you guys picked those 2 characters as some of the strongest people, which means that I'm onto something.
So we have
Interesting.
Shanks, Garp, Broggy, Dory, and Dragon.
I have a theory.
versus what Mihawk, Zoro, Chopper,
Beep, 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 beep,
Luffy
beep,
at
beep.
Alabasta,
Yeah, and Ace.
Beep, beep, beep,
and
beep.
Ace. Yeah,
Oh,
you're cooked.
Oh,
You're
oh,
cooked.
Oh, 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 oh. Okay, hey,
Okay,
hey.
you just turned chimpanzee for a
Hey,
second.
hey,
Say the word.
I gotta say my
That
thing.
time, though, Dragon.
I gotta say my thing. Okay, let me set the scene. They're warlords. My whole thing is that I think don't laugh at me. My whole thing is that I think warlords are a sham. I don't think they're really that crazy. So here's what I'm gonna say. Warlords are, public figures. They're public identities. They don't really care about what the Marines think because so many of them do their own thing and they don't care. I think they do care. I think they report to Shanks, and Shanks was given that title by Goldie Roger.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's my theory.
Interpret this as you may. It's so funny how obsessed you guys are with the warlord.
That's the only. What are you talking about?
I don't think you're wrong in interpreting. It's just funny. Like it's a good reflection
They're like
to what the world is at the time.
I take that
It's
as
good
points
that
of
you guys are
Berkan.
reflecting. I just think it's funny.
They're legends right now.
Yeah, they
They're
are.
literal legends. We don't even know who all of them
I'm not
are.
saying you shouldn't obsess like them like you are. I'm just saying.
I
it's
don't
funny.
think we should obsess over them. I think they're nothing. I think there's greater tiers.
Why would you think that? Why would you think that?
Why do I think they're
Yes,
nothing?
why would you think that? I feel like
Because they're just like they're like, oh yeah, they work with the Marines, but then they actually don't ever do anything with the Marines.
Mihawk.
He's powerful. He's powerful, but the whole show is about how there's these greater powers out there, which is part of why the whole One Piece is, unobtainable. And so it's just like they're
Mihawk is the greatest swordsman in the world.
like, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I think there's more important things than warlords. Like, I don't think they care about being warlords. I think they care about serving something else.
It's funny that you guys are arguing this. So I'll tell you this: in the One Piece community, I'm not that I'm part of it, but I watch a bunch of I only watch One Piece YouTube, nothing else on YouTube. In the One Piece community, arguably the most controversial argument is because of Mihawk.
Boom.
His existence causes the most controversial arguments in the One Piece community. His existence
Dear
and title.
Lord.
I'm not kidding.
Is
Okay.
this sword the One Piece?
So this even at episode 100, this conversation is sort of like
People are still having this argument. What you just said about Mihawk,
Dear
people are
Lord.
still having that argument to this in the
See?
current manga.
See, I'm onto something.
Or you're not onto something. It's undecided.
No, it's
think
undecided. You're not. I don't know.
I think this conversation might actually mean that we're both onto something.
Potentially.
Anyway, moving on.
we're on the right track.
Now that we've done the draft, let's talk favorite characters. Emmett, you look like you have something to say.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's fun because some of your theories are also our theories. Like it's weird.
Really?
Like there's some stuff you say that's like, yeah, I wonder that too.
I have
What?
When can I ask my questions?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
sure.
well,
Go ahead.
Should we do?
Well,
okay.
We're gonna do favorite questions.
Should we do favorites
characters.
or questions?
Favorite characters and then questions.
Okay.
It's really tough, but I'm gonna go with my boy Chopper. I think he's
Okay.
my number one here.
Do you have a top three?
Yes. Okay, that makes me feel better actually. Chopper, Luffy, Zoro.
Nice. Some classics, honestly. All
Yeah,
Straw Hats.
My beautiful baby boys.
All right, Dan. How about you?
I'm not gonna do it in any order. Just top three.
You
random
can't
ones.
pick a favorite. You can't pick a favorite child.
They'll always change. I'll do Garp,
Wow.
Sanji, and
Okay.
Berkan. You'll get excited about this, Mister Two.
Mister
Mm,
Two.
oh.
Mr.
Invest in
Yeah.
Mister Two stocks. Trust me.
I'm investing in
It's a
Mr.
great
Two,
pick.
but that's not who I'm picking. I'm picking. I mean, yeah, Zoro, of course.
It's got to be.
Coolest guy.
I really fucking like Smoker.
Me too. Okay. Keep
I
going.
really like Smoker. No, I don't like the reaction though.
Oh.
I was nodding.
Okay, so Zoro, Smoker. I don't want to say Luffy
Why not?
because
If he's your favorite character, he's your
he's
favorite
not.
character.
He's not though. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't
Oh.
want to. I don't want to say Luffy.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go Chopper too.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a very similar list to Berkan. I got to put Zoro up there. Smoker, for a long time, I thought was my number two.
Wow.
The last two arcs have really been making me switch up my top three because the introduction of Chopper, easily he became a top three favorite character, maybe two. And now Ace is competing.
Ace is up there. I love his. I just love his devil
I
fruit.
really want to put
Sholo
Ace.
Meridueña.
Huh?
Sholo Meridueña.
Oh, is that who he's playing?
Yeah. Did you not know that?
Oh, that's
Sholo's casted as Ace.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He looks just like him. I know it's perfect.
That's brilliant.
I know.
I also, when I was watching it, I was like, I think this guy might be Luffy's dad. That was going to be my theory. That was going to be my theory on our next podcast episode. And then he was like, I'm his older brother. It's like, I was so close.
It's kind of alarming how many times I felt like Goldie Roger was Luffy's dad.
Yeah, but the timing doesn't add up. I think.
Timing does not.
You're supposed to think that.
Right.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
It seems like the obvious.
The One Piece live action made it worse.
The One Piece
The live action. I'm not gonna say more, but
Okay, actually, I have a question. Do you guys think the One Piece live action is going to go the route of other adaptations who kind of had to end before the series could actually end?
yes,
And they're gonna
This-
change
the
the
One Piece
ending?
live action is not covering all of One Piece. It can't.
But
Yeah.
so that you think they're gonna have a completely different ending?
I think they're just gonna end it with
There's a couple arcs that could be climactic.
there could
enough to
there's
be-
there's 2 arcs that they could end it on
Yeah.
perfectly.
Will it be the same One Piece?
Well, I don't think they're gonna get.
No,
I don't
they're
know.
not-
They're not gonna do it.
we don't know.
I
the
think
One
they're
Piece.
gonna. I think what they will do, just because it's Netflix and Hollywood, and that's just how adaptations go.
But
because
Oda-
audiences listen. If they end One Piece without like actually revealing the One
They're
Piece in
not.
live action,
They're not.
that's a big Hollywood.
They're not
no-no.
gonna do that.
But that's a big
Well,
Hollywood.
no,
No,
no-no.
Oda's the contract with the One Piece live action is that the One Piece creator has all full say, and he's not gonna. let
Okay,
that. He would
you
never
you don't think
let
he would
that.
give them an
He would
alternative One
never-
Piece?
He would
No.
rather die.
He won't, but there's a point where they can end it in a feasible amount
Yeah.
of seasons that leaves it open ended
Yep.
enough to still satisfy.
Could they
that.
end it in? Could they end it alluding that the One Piece has been involved, but they just never
No,
show
they're
it,
not
so
gonna-
it's
they're-
part
they're not.
conversation?
They can't.
I think
They
they'll close
literally
it
can't.
with like the adventure continues.
But okay, so
At the end of the day, the
you
point
don't
of the
think-
live action is to get new viewers for the anime. and
I
manga.
think it's quite possible. I'm just gonna throw out a theory out there. I think it's quite possible that Luffy can go sailing, and then they could do a flash forward, and then be like, yeah, when Luffy found the One Piece, without including any hints of what it
Maybe.
could have been or
They
where.
could. You know what they could do? That actually gave me an idea.
But that's
What
just
if
like
they-
classic Hollywood writing.
How do I say this without? What if they?
It depends on where.
I'll tell this off
It
camera,
ends.
but you actually got me. You might be onto something.
Of course, I'm on this,
But not in the way you think. Not in the way you think.
No, but I'm cooking regardless.
Yo, this is a podcast. Y'all keep whispering to each other.
Yeah, you guys realize. Hey, you guys realize we can hear everything
I'm
you're saying.
I'm trying to like overpower their whispering so
When
that I
we-
don't get.
Yeah,
spoiled.
I'm not.
I mean, I'm spoiling in a way that you won't understand. It means nothing.
Yeah, I'm not worried
Okay,
about them
But
spoiling.
when there, I don't know. We'll do a reunion for episode like 500 or 600. Or
Next
something.
Amazing.
We'll see where we are.
You can be on whatever episode you want on.
Reunion.
If we're ever in the same town, you could be on episode 14. If we're at episode 221, you can pop in. Okay.
1 year from now, Michael and I are going to be doing. Okay, guys. Now we've just finished watching episode 107.
Okay.
We're still in Alabasta.
Dan, you had some questions.
Yeah,
for
hit us
us.
with your questions.
I have some questions.
Okay.
I will not be spoiling them.
Right, and
But
so
they're
these
just
are,
fun questions.
these are questions of someone who's been fully caught
These
up.
are questions that like viewers will be like, I know what he's referencing.
Okay.
Except for the first one, kind of. Okay, the first one is, where do you think the One Piece is? And I can share you my theory, because my theory is just a theory, and it's not a spoiler. And
Well, the clear hint that we've gotten is that there's an island basically at the end of the Grand Line. And
that doesn't mean that the One Piece is there.
Yeah, which makes me
But that
think.
would be the most
I don't
obvious
think-
place for
I
it
think
to
I've
be.
said this. I don't think the One Piece is in the Grand Line.
Okay.
I really
Oh.
don't.
What if it's in the Calm Belt? If it's not in the Grand Line, arguably the Calm Belt is more dangerous than the Grand Line.
I think the One Piece has already been found.
And just some
Oh.
dude with it.
Yeah, and then maybe we haven't seen the dude yet, or maybe we have and nobody knows.
Right. Interesting.
Power protection.
If it's not at the island at the end of the Grand Line, I'm gonna say it could be in the
It could
Calm
be. I don't
Belt.
know.
Hey, if you
I have
found,
no idea.
You don't know.
if you
okay.
found hypothetically, if you found the One Piece or the greatest treasure in the world, would you tell everybody?
Well,
Yeah.
It
You
depends
would?
on what it is. If you
Yeah.
could do something good with it.
See, my thought process is if I ever won the lottery, I don't think I'd ever tell anyone.
Yeah, but you're a guy with money. You're not like the guy.
But,
is
like,
you
being
get
the
One Piece-
guy- Okay,
Yeah.
what happens in Harry Potter when the Elder Wand is introduced?
But like,
People go after you.
yeah, but
Every time there's a massive source of power and people know, you immediately become a hit for everybody.
true. But like, to get the One Piece, presumably you have to already have such a strong crew that like you're pretty much already the top.
Unless
scorer.
unless the One Piece is so well hidden that really strong crew is taken out in the process. Because think about it. Okay, if you're playing a video game and you're up against this huge monster and you have a team and you've clipped every single item to get you as close to beating that monster, most likely you're not going to finish that fight and win with everything 100%. So you could have the greatest team in the world, but they could be the equivalent of G Leaguers
You
by
might,
the time they finish.
you might pull a Joker at the beginning of the Dark Knight Rises and like rob a bank and then kill all your crewmates for all the
You
money.
could be.
Keep all the
If
money
I was a
yourself.
captain, honestly, I knowing my crew would probably be depleted. If I found the One Piece, if I was Luffy and I found the One Piece, I'd kill everybody in Straw Hats and not tell anybody.
That's why you're not.
That's why you're not
That's
Luffy.
why you're not the captain of the Straw Hats.
Why
yet.
would you want the One Piece if you're not gonna
Power?
tell anyone?
Maybe that's
But
part of
what,
it, though.
do you have
Maybe that's part of
power?
it. Maybe it's like, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe if I want the One Piece, I want the power. It's like a personality
King
thing.
of the-
But maybe that's what's so brilliant about where the One Piece is hidden. It's going to be found by somebody who doesn't want it,
Berkan,
which is also a classic trope.
I don't think you're onto something right now,
But I'm on something.
But I do think that could be a cool, interesting, like different storyline. You know what I mean? Like that could be
How
like.
can you say you don't think I'm on something? Nobody knows.
It just doesn't seem like the theme of the show.
But nobody knows.
I
I'll
just-
share you.
I'm gambling. You're gambling too. I'm gonna bet that you're wrong. You're betting you're right.
I'll share you where I believe the One Piece is, and
Okay.
this is also like this is one of the most popular theories in the community. Again, it's not even a spoiler because we don't know if it's true or not, and there actually hasn't even been that much hints beyond what you're already in. I think the One Piece is underneath the Reverse Mountain red line.
Oh,
You know why?
At the start,
why?
Like when they went.
Yeah.
If you look at the map, what is the reverse? You know, Reverse Mountain.
Oh my
right?
God, it's an X.
It's an X.
Oh my God.
The X is where the
The X
treasure
marks
is.
the spot.
The X marks the spot.
and
It's an
like,
X. If you look at the One Piece world, the red line, the reverse mountain sets up an X. And
And
then
arguably-
I'll do you double. Okay. Okay. So if the One Piece is at the bottom of the red line, how do you get to it? You destroy the red line. What would happen to the world if you destroyed the red line?
The all blue. Maybe?
It would become the all blue. It's meaning that if the One Piece is, I believe that the One Piece at the end of the red line because they're going to destroy the red line at the end of the series, revealing the One Piece. And if they destroy the red line, Sanji's dream is true, and he finds the all blue. The all blue is just the world after the destruction of the red line.
And you look like you've heard this theory before.
It's the most popular theory, arguably,
Okay.
and it's not a spoiler. It's not
No,
a spoiler.
it's
No,
not.
I know everything that you're talking about right now.
Yeah,
the red line was the most difficult part of the Grand Line so far for them, right? I'm not tripping.
So far,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
far.
probably. Yeah,
Okay. Did you have any other questions?
I
for us?
did. Okay, next question. Who do you think is the strongest pirate? Straw Hat pirate. Strongest Straw Hat pirate.
Luffy.
Sanji.
No,
And is this
No,
question
it's-
for right now?
it's easily
For
Luffy.
right now, sorry, yeah,
Okay.
right now, as it stands, who is the strongest?
As of right now,
No, it's Luffy.
strongest as in like strength or strongest as in
Strength.
like
Like
Okay.
they could beat anybody else. Like they could beat everyone in the crew. Like if they had an all round, if they had a free for all the crew, and they were bloodlet. Like if they were like, yes, I gotta win.
Well,
Who
maybe
would
actually,
win it out?
maybe actually Zoro because Luffy's one weakness is sharp weapons, and Luffy and Zoro did have a little tiff, like during that one fight where
Whiskey
Zoro was
Peak.
fighting all the Baroque work people. So it's like that might just be a bad matchup. Honestly, it might be Zoro that beats Luffy, and then no one else beats Zoro.
That fight might be my least favorite.
Yeah,
A
It's
lot of
such a
people.
tease.
A lot of
It's-
people have
it's
said
bad.
that.
Yeah.
it was such a tease.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
What's funny is that we had
That's
a
the
theory.
dumbest reason.
This actually kind of upsets me because we had a theory that they were gonna fight eventually, and everyone commented like, "That's such a bullshit theory. That's so wrong." 10 episodes later, they did fight.
Yeah.
In
And
a
we're
jokey
like, "What are you
way,
Why
yeah.
were you so upset
I-
about our theory when it happened?
Yeah. I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that was like an editor push to make them.
Yeah,
know
because he's
this
so
fight.
out of character
to
for
build
Oda
up
to do
interest.
Luffy like that. He is so out of character.
Yeah, not a good.
That's what I'm
fight.
saying. I was like, the reasoning is stupid. It felt like it was like he just abandoned everything.
It would never have. Yeah, that
It
would
is a lot of the. Like,
I
yeah.
win.
Can I tell you guys whether you were like who I think?
Yeah,
Even though it does like
you can't tell us anything.
I'm not
about
telling you
that
why. I'm definitely not going to tell you why, but who I think.
I-
Which again, it's not. It's
Emmett,
what
what do
I
you,
think.
Emmett, what do you think? Would that be a spoiler?
I don't.
I'll just say who I think, and I won't say more.
It depends on your definition of spoiler.
It's not a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler, but I just like knowing
Is there something
nothing
about the Straw Hats that
personally.
we
But you
don't
guys
know
already-
yet that's going to be revealed that's going to make us think that someone is in a new power tier?
Maybe. Yeah, it depends how you
Because I-
interpret
I don't-
it.
if-
It depends how you interpret
The way
it.
you answer this question might make me think of a certain character differently, and then when that happens, when information gets revealed, I'm going to be like, well, I knew that
Yeah,
already.
that's why I don't think.
I think maybe...
But even then, when you see it, you'll be like, oh, the shock value will still maintain.
Yeah, but not if you know.
okay, that's fine. I won't say
Is
it.
my take.
I won't say it
Okay.
then.
if you know, comment. Anyway,
Let us know.
Can I say who it's not?
Sure.
is it not Luffy?
I don't think it's Luffy, and that's all I'll say. Okay.
That's fun. That was a good way to do that.
How many members of the Gold Roger Pirates have you seen so far, and who are they?
7.
Oh.
Name them all. Who?
Oh, you think it's the Warlords? That's what you think, right?
No, I think Shanks.
But you said 7 so fast.
Yeah, no, I think Shanks. I think Smoker.
Smoker. No, Smoker was like a kid when Goldie Roger got assassinated. He was there for like the execution.
Oh,
When he was a kid.
Well,
So
kids can't be on pirate cruise.
Maybe not.
Kids can't be running around ships. Why do you think he was there?
All right.
Did he live there?
All right. Yeah, he said he's from Loketown.
I
But
don't
so
know.
was Goldie Roger.
So is Goldie Roger.
So
Maybe he was a
Oh, no,
mentor.
they did. No, yeah, they
Okay.
did.
Maybe they're related.
I think you're right with Shanks. Honestly, I think you might be onto something there. I think he might also be Whitebeard. We've heard of this guy named Whitebeard, who also is like Ace. So we know that Blackbeard can like conquer countries in a day. He worked for Ace. Ace works for Whitebeard. Whitebeard might have been a member of Goldie Roger's crew.
I'm not gonna say why this person because I don't want to ruin it for Michael. But the Garb. Am I saying it right?
You
Interesting.
think it might
Well,
be
you
Garb?
watched how do you say that after watching the live action?
I didn't finish the live action.
No, but you saw the episode where they talk.
Oh, Mihawk.
Oh,
Wait,
you're right.
wait. Because we've seen that scene. If we think Shanks is a member of Goldie Roger's crew, we saw Mihawk and Shanks be super friendly, drinking together, partying together, dancing. So they probably were on the same crew together. So it's probably and if we're going with Berkan's theory that the 7 warlords of the sea were like
Champs.
are shams, but also were appointed by Goldie Roger, is what you said.
Ah.
Then we can assume that also that means Crocodile, and also Dragon is a super mysterious character who seems to have a crazy amount of power for some reason. So maybe Dragon. How many is that? I mean, I think maybe that.
Do you know what would be really interesting? Personally, because like I want them to tie it back. I don't know the character's name. I'm just not gonna remember. The girl, Zoro's friend who died,
Queena.
her father.
Oh,
Interesting.
Oh.
It's just
Deep
such.
hole.
He
It's
might
just
have-
a,
people-
such a.
People have
It's,
theorized that he is. Well, I don't know.
it's just such an interesting. I hope. Honestly, I hope he killed his own daughter, or I hope he's part of
in
Goldie Roger's group because that storyline is so interesting.
there is
I
it
think-
is a common theory that he killed
I
her
would
to make
love.
Zoro.
I would love to go back and for Zoro to like unravel.
No, but
something.
one of my favorite fan theories is that he killed his daughter to make Zoro,
Better.
to encourage Zoro, but maybe.
Hmm. I would like to see like a plot twist on that storyline.
He did give his daughter's sword to Zoro so easily.
Yeah, he did kind of give that.
So easily.
I'll say this: you might have gotten the numbers right, maybe not the names. But
Okay, got
I think
it.
the number you were probably around the same ballpark around the numbers of the characters you've seen because you've seen multiple.
Yeah.
Have we seen all the warlords?
No.
Okay.
No,
I don't think so.
you've only seen Mihawk.
Think so.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah, you've only
Wait.
seen you've seen Mihawk and then you referenced another warlord.
We've seen Crocodile.
Interesting.
Oh, then you've seen Crocodile. Okay, last question.
Does Arlong have a brother who's a warlord?
No spoilers.
Okay, because that was my theory.
That was a Michael
No
theory.
spoilers there.
That was a Michael
Oh, I
theory.
might have cooked.
Oh.
Is this one a spoiler?
We got to vet the question.
I feel like this is the most cheeky. This is the most cheeky one.
I think.
But it's not a spoiler.
So
unlike the
here's-
chopper one, it's not gonna. It literally does not take shock value at all.
Here's my thing. Is like it just gets the gears turning. I feel like.
But the gears are fun.
Yeah, but I just like watching stuff without knowing anything.
But this I think this is a good one.
So it depends on what. I mean, they already know some stuff anyway.
I want to ask it.
Hey, you do you?
I mean, me asking it doesn't say anything.
Okay, I will say this. Dan is most of the reason we're even doing this.
I'm asking this in a way because I know this won't ruin.
So
story for
you
this
might-
will not ruin your enjoyment.
You have the most excuse to, at least get our gears turning, like Emmett said.
Just if a straw hat is hiding their true identity, who do you think it would be?
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I didn't even think any. Well, Nami, we already saw Nami. It can't be Nami again.
No, it's not. My theory shifted from Nami. I've seen too many comments about how Nami swims.
We've seen Chopper's, entire backstory, so it can't be Chopper.
Listen.
We saw him from when he was,
Listen. Wait. Current Straw Hats?
I'm not gonna answer anything. I'm not gonna I'm not.
Maybe
I've already
it's not
asked.
we know yet.
I've already said too much in the question, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Dude, it actually might be Luffy. We almost know nothing about Luffy's backstory, really.
Yeah, we know nothing.
He just met Ace.
We just met Ace.
Yeah, we didn't even know he had a brother. We haven't seen his dad. We haven't seen his actual introduction to the whole pirating journey. Like, there's so much about Luffy that we don't. We know more about probably all the other characters than we do about Luffy.
That is true.
I'm gonna say Luffy.
I'll say this. This is not.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm just saying like you had a clue. It's true. They're not gonna. That means nothing. You've had a clue. Like you've already seen a clue in an episode. That's it.
God,
You've had a hint at it.
Watch all 100 episodes.
In one of the hundreds episodes, there was a hint at this where Oda, the creator, first dropped a teaser about this, and a series started about this because of that one episode. And look, it's not a spoiler because you guys had no idea, and you still have no idea what I'm talking about. But there was an episode that hinted at something, and I don't even think you can figure it
Can
out.
you tell us the arc?
I'm not gonna tell you
No,
anything.
tell me the arc.
I'm not
know
gonna
the
tell you. I'm not. If
I
I tell
wanna
you,
know
no,
the arc.
I'm not telling you. The arc.
Wait,
I'm not telling you.
I
more.
want to know the arc.
Hold
No,
on,
I'm
wait.
not telling you anything else.
You know who else we know we know very little about?
Sanji.
We don't know anything about Sanji. We don't
I'm
know
not saying anything.
He was
Because
basically,
Sanji was abandoned.
he was basically an orphan on a ship, and we know that it like was marooned and that he survived with Zeph on very little food. That's all we know. We don't
How
know.
old is Sanji?
I mean, could you say the same that every Star?
How old is
every
wait,
Star
wait,
has
wait,
essentially
how-
an orphan?
wait.
Right?
How old was Sanji?
But we saw
Time out.
I don't know
How old is Sanji?
How old?
He's 17 pre-time skip. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
How long ago was Goldie Roger killed?
22 years ago.
And Sanji is 17.
I think he's 17 in the pre-time skip. Yeah.
Do we think he has a parent on Goldie Roger's crew?
I'm not saying anything.
See, now we are trying to draw
I'm trying to
connections
get
from Dan's
Okay,
questions.
my thing with Sanji, my beef with Sanji is his legs are so powerful.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
That's
I don't
kind
think
of
it's
the thing.
devil fruit. But like, man, the dude like took out a lot of Arlong's crew,
Yeah.
which is his feet.
All right.
Well, I mean,
Giant
people also
fish
like.
monsters. How do you just learn that?
I mean,
Zeph was the kicking pirate.
just wait.
Yeah, but like,
but I mean, physical combat is like really strong in this universe. Like, you can get by with just your fists. Like, truly.
Well,
I think
if you had no more questions, I think we're at the time
I think we're at time.
to wrap it up.
Are you satisfied with our 100 episode watch so far?
Yeah, I don't think you'd make it this far. No.
I really enjoy your guys' theories. I was saying the other day, I watch all your clips. I like the Nami one. I thought that was fun.
Man,
It's-
Oh yeah.
I saw you get eaten up a little bit in the comments.
Oh
but I
yeah,
thought it was
that
fun.
was okay.
But here's the thing: everyone does this when they're watching One Piece for the first time. That's half the fun. Is all the theories.
It's
But
so
then people are like, "No, you idiot! This isn't what it is." That's everyone does that. That's
It's
what's fun
so-
about it.
Thank
It's
you.
so
Thank you.
funny.
People are upset that we don't already know what's gonna happen.
I know. I don't get it.
It's so funny because for the most part, though, whenever we do theories or talk about stuff like that, majority of the comments are protective over us being spoiled,
That is cool.
which is really nice.
Oh yeah.
It's a great
But-
community.
It is a good community.
But the Nami Delfruit, they all threw it out the window. They all pinpointed and told me exactly what Nami
People-
swims.
Okay, but
I was like, okay.
also I do think that was a stupid theory because we did actually see Nami swim to save Zoro in Arlong Park, so we already knew it was wrong.
I didn't remember
You want to
some
hear
of
a
it,
theory that I actually think might be true? There's
What?
some people believe, and I'm like 50-50 on it, that Mihawk is a devil fruit.
What?
That Mihawk is. I don't. It's a
He
theory.
himself is a devil fruit.
He himself is a devil
I
fruit.
don't-
Some people theorize that.
I haven't heard
that
that.
he's
Haven't
the.
heard it?
I don't know
No.
enough
Do you think
about.
wait, does he poop the fruit?
What?
Where does devil fruit come from?
People believe
Is
he
there a
is like
tree?
you've seen Chopper. He had the human fruit. You've seen,
Yeah.
You've seen the bison guy. He can turn into a bison.
Sure.
Yeah,
People are
Dolphin-
saying this is just a theory. It's not a spoiler. People are saying Mihawk has like the world's strongest swordsman, like devil
Sure.
fruit.
Have
but
you
like,
seen him
but
swim?
where does the devil fruit?
We haven't
come-
seen him swim. That's the
Oh.
We haven't seen him swim.
Where does devil fruit come from? Is it a tree?
I'm not gonna spoil, but
So we will find out.
do you want me to tell you?
Kind-
No, I want to.
You
Will
do
we
f-
find out?
No, I don't know. Depends under interpretation.
Yeah, you can
Kind of.
reach,
It's hard-
you
it's
can
hard for
reach
me to answer that.
conclusions.
I
You reach
think-
conclusions,
My theory now
but-
is Mihawk poops devil fruit powers.
Awesome. Well, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, you guys.
And be sure to follow at Danbotooie at isuperebba.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
Close enough.
Bang.
Eva.
All right.
Yeah, I
We'll
was
take
like,
it. Close enough, close
you did
enough.
not nail it. You did not nail it.
Listen, he's Emmett in my heart and soul.
You did not nail
Hey,
it.
Dan, what's my name?
Birkin.
Anyway, be sure to follow us at the Drive-In Movie Pod.
Right. Rate us 5 stars. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Subscribe to YouTube.
And if you like our conversation, just a reminder that Michael reacts to every single One Piece episode on Patreon.
So check us out there. Thanks for driving in with us. Bye.
Bye.
It's just that thank you for sleeping with us.
Right.